Hello, everyone, and welcome to Niche Sports. Sorry for that. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Niche Sports. I hope you all are doing well. And as we know, we are in day 8 of Euro 2020. We've had a couple of great games today, but now we are also going to have a very important game, that is England versus Scotland. And let me tell you, this is the British Derby. And those of you who have been to Great Britain know the kind of significance that this game has. Now, as a nation of Great Britain, these countries have only featured in the Olympics, but in all other events, they are always facing off against each other. So this is why today's live show, we've scheduled it at midnight, because England versus Scotland is an occasion. But having said that, before we go ahead, welcome Akash. Thank you once again for joining me.
Thanks, Ishad. It's a pleasure.
Perfect. And now, before we move ahead, Akash, I would like to review the first two games that we've had today. First and foremost, Sweden won, Slovakia nil. I think Sweden bounced back very well after the way that they had been through in their opening encounter. It was not an easy game for them.
It wasn't, and it's a strong comeback from Sweden. Although the goal that they scored was from a penalty, I think. Victor Lindelof was strong in defense. I wonder how he does that, because when he plays for Man United, the team I support, he doesn't play that great. But when it comes to his own country, his own nation, perhaps there's this bit of patriotism and nationalism that comes to him when he plays for his own country. But overall, a very solid performance from him at the back. And I would say in the midfield as well, they had Seb Larsson, the veteran player who has played in the Premier League before. He had a good influence on the game overall, and Sweden ending up as the victorious team on the day, well deserved.
100%. And Slovakia didn't have it very easy today, but they obviously had done well in their previous game. And moving ahead to the second game, which I think was a phenomenal game because I really enjoyed watching it. Croatia won, Czech Republic nil. And pretty much you could say that it was an even-handed contest, a lot of fight from both sides, that penalty kick going and then Czech getting that goal. I think it was a very good contest.
Overall, I think it was an end-to-end game, especially in the second half, where Czech Republic and Croatia were getting at each other. It was more like a basketball game at one point. Croatia, I felt, coming into this game after having lost to England, they had this thing, they wanted to prove a point that they are not that bad at all. I mean, they were quite bad against England, but they really wanted to prove a point, I feel, in this game. And hence they came up with an equalizer as well. But I honestly feel they are an aging squad, except a few players. All of the key players that they have, Luka Modric and Mandzukic and the likes of Domagoj Vida, Lovren, they're aging, and it's a bit of a transition they're going through perhaps. So they're not that quick as they used to be, not that agile. And hence you can see that on the field of play as well. And I think Czech Republic, the last time they played against the opposition, no one expected them to beat Wales, and they ended up winning 2-0. I'm sorry, was it Wales against? Was it Czech Republic? Yeah, so Czech Republic totally undoing Scotland.
It was Scotland. With that great goal from close to the half line by Schick again. Today's goal scorer.
Yeah. The brace, and then exactly. So no one expected them to beat Scotland, and they had I think 30% possession overall in that game. So Czech Republic definitely the underdogs in the tournament, and I think they will go far.
And before we move on, I would like to tell our viewers that you can obviously post your comments below. We would like to answer your questions. If you have got any observations, always welcome on a platform like Niche Sports. And before we move ahead, I'd like to bring this up because Akash is wearing a Real Madrid t-shirt, but I'm wearing a Liverpool t-shirt. And it is just that I like the t-shirt, okay? I'm just telling everyone, I just like the t-shirt. I'm not a club football fan in a big way. I just like the t-shirt before everyone says anything to me. But moving on to England versus Scotland. England really strong in qualifying, winning 7, losing 1. starting the Euro 2020 with a good 1-0 win over Croatia. Defensive later after they scored, but still a good win considering the fact that they had lost to Croatia in the 2018 World Cup and Croatia were the finalists that year.
Right. And talking about overall, I mean, when you think about the game against the games that they played the last time they played England, it did look like they were slowing a little bit in transition. They were slow. They were trying to build up from the back on certain occasions. They were caught in the midfield as well. England had this psychological advantage over them, I would think, tactically, wherein they were able to exploit. England were able to exploit the throw-ins whenever they used to get throw-ins in the opposition half. So Croatia again struggling to sort of build up the momentum, and England taking full advantage of that.
Right, Akash, that's very right. And also, we can say that England are looking the part. They've obviously taken a young squad to the 2018 World Cup, but now it's gotten a bit more experience. They have got all the goods. The question, though, last game was the position that Kieran Trippier played at. Naturally, a
Right.
right back, he was made to play left. How much does that affect a player, according to you?
I think there are two ways of looking at it from a coach's perspective, as far as I can decipher. Kieran Trippier actually is a right back. He would when you play a right back at left back position, he would try to cut in from the left and try to score a goal or try to provide an assist, like Perisic did. He scored a goal for Croatia, cutting in from the left from his right foot. So Trippier naturally will try to cut back inside from the left hand side rather than crossing the ball. When you have a left back in that position, he will try to cross it rather than trying to take a shot at the goal. So naturally, your tactics change when you play an inverted fullback or someone who's not naturally fit to play it in that position. But I think Southgate's gamble paid off in that game when he played Trippier in that position. He's very good going forward. He does that for Atletico Madrid as well. However, he does it from the right flank, and is defensively as well very solid. In fact, Man United are trying to sign him this summer transfer window. So it would be interesting to see where he ends up after the window closes.
Right, Akash, and we've got a question from Yash. He's saying, who are the favorites for the cup, and who are you guys supporting? I mean, if you want to know who I'm supporting, you should have seen the jersey that I've worn, the only jersey that I've worn throughout these shows, and that is Portugal. Akash, I know he also wears the Spanish jersey, so he supports Spain. Am I right?
Exactly. I am hoping that Spain at least uh, go till the quarters, or at least till the semis, because I know they're not that strong to go all the way to the finals. They are stronger teams than Spain, but you never know. It's a funny old game, and I'm just hoping that they go farther, as far as they can in the tournament.
Akash, now talking about the key players that England have, we've got Harry Kane, Mason Mount, Declan Rice, Raheem Sterling, a very good lineup over there. What have you got to say about this team and how it's going to shape up? I know that there is a lot being spoken about the fact that they possibly did not score more goals against Croatia, but still a decent start. And Gareth Southgate seems to be a manager who will, in a sense, push his players to raise the bar.
I think that's how England started in the last major tournament that they played. They started off a little slow, but they eventually picked up pace, and that's how I think Southgate's teams usually play overall. The players that you've mentioned, Harry Kane, Mason Mount, Declan Rice, all star players for the respective clubs. But one player that really stood out for me in the last game was Calvin Phillips, who plays for Leeds. Uh, Marcelo Bielsa's Leeds, as they are famously known, and Marcelo Bielsa is, in my opinion, one of the greatest footballing minds that we have had in this game. And the kind of positions he was taking up on the field, the kind of overall impact that he had on the game was exceptional. And I think he will have a key role to play in this game as well. Apart from him, you look at the bench. They have got Jadon Sancho, they've got Jack Grealish, they've got Maguire, who's fit to come on now. They've got someone like Jude Bellingham, who's only 17, playing in the Euros. Amazing feat to achieve. They've got Ben Chilwell. So there's a lot of players who are on the bench, star players. There's a strong bench there England have got, and then they have got all the reasons to go on and win this game.
Absolutely. Now coming to Scotland, not a very happy qualifying campaign. They won 5, lost 5, drew 2, and then they've also lost their first game to Czech Republic. Most people would have expected it, but I think the stunner was the goal that was hit from almost near the half line. I think that really would have left them shell-shocked.
It would have, for sure. I mean, you could look at the lineup that they have. They've got Scott McTominay, they've got Tierney, who plays for Arsenal, they've got McGinn, who plays for Aston Villa, Wilmore, Chelsea, Robertson, Liverpool, Shea Adams for Villa. So they've got some good names in the first 11, proper starters in any team. So it's not like they're not up to the mark when it comes to playing in major tournaments. It's just that perhaps luck is not on their side, and they have not really played together as a team. But overall, I think they have a very good build-up play when they go forward in transitions. Also, they are quite decent. It's just that in against Czech Republic, they struggled a little bit because they were organized. Czech Republic was organized quite nicely, and they were struggling to break them down. And then Czech Republic took their chances. The Schick goal that he scored from halfway line was, I think, it was not just pure luck, but a little bit of skill also. Obviously, it's far away from the goal. But I think they do have a balanced squad, and they will have. They will give England a few scares as well throughout the game.
Now, obviously, you spoke about those players who play the Premier League. They will know quite a few of these English players very well, considering that they've faced them or they've played with them. Now, even the international football is different. There will be those pressures, and England is a much more organized team. They've got the experience of playing at big events. Scotland, not so much. And it's a derby. So pressure is clearly on Scotland, and England are the favourites.
Exactly. Pleasure. You could say it's on Scotland at the moment, but England had this habit of not doing exceptionally well at a very big stage in the past tournaments as well. They went to the semi-finals of the World Cup, but they tend to choke at the right moment. But this England team doesn't look like that. They have got a lot of firepower. They've got a lot of attacking players who can change the game in a split second. And I definitely, personally, I do fear England will end up winning this game, but Scotland will make it difficult for them. It's not going to be a walk in the park for England, for sure.
It won't be walk in the park, but what would be your estimated scoreline if England are to win?
I think it would be a 2-1 win for England.
2-1. Okay, that's a good call. And yes, that would be our observation, and we'll conclude our show here. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us at this time of the night here in India. Remember, the World Test Championship final is going on, or rather is being rained out at the moment as we speak. But if you are just waiting for the big game to start, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can check out the interview that we had with New Zealand coach Gary Stead. We had obviously promised that we will get you a very big guest, and here it is. It's an absolute pleasure that we've got him for you. There's a lot more stuff that you can follow us on Niche Sports. There's a lot more Euro football analysis coming up, a lot more on cricket. Do subscribe to our channel. And also, let us tell you, we are missing Sachin today. Sachin, by the way, was in the stadium the last time England and Scotland played a Euro game. That was way back in '96. Akash, imagine, that was a momentous. Yeah. And
amazing.
And let me also tell you a little bit of a connection with the Indian fans, that it was around the same time that Saurav Ganguly scored 100 on Test debut and Rahul Dravid got 95 at Lord's. So Sachin was there for both those events. We wish he was joining us on the show. He would have given us a lot more memories from those games.
He would have. I don't think he's going to forget it for the rest of his life. That specific day. You're witnessing the best of both the worlds, football and cricket, both basically at the same time. So what else can you ask for as a sports fan?
Absolutely. And given his sporting memory, he will never forget it. And wish he was joining us for this show. He would have told our viewers a lot more. But I'm sure when he'll be here next time, we'll make it a point to ask him to narrate this incident. And yes,
absolutely.
Once again, friends, thank you so much for joining us. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, press the bell icon for all the updates, like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn for all your favorite sports content. Until next time, it's goodbye and good night. Enjoy tonight's game.
Bye-bye. Take care.